We're live.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to the MakeCode Arcade Advanced live stream. I'm Daryl at Darzu on the forum.
I'm Shannon at Shakao on the forum.
I'm Joey at JWonderl on the forum.
And I'm Richard on the forum and in real life.
Awesome. So over the last 2 days, Richard has been building this cave survival game that we came up with the idea for in our game idea generator. So let me just play the game real quick, what we've got so far. So we've got Skelly, our skeleton, who is surviving in this cave. Why is a skeleton surviving? Well, that's part of the surreal element of the game. So these mushrooms spawn, and we have this food and the heat. And as we go over the mushrooms, let me see if I can find some more. We get back some food. And as we're away from the fire, we slowly lose heat. And when we come back to the fire, we gain some heat. So these are the survival resources that we need to balance as Skelly. And you can also see we have this cool like darkness effect. As we get farther away from the fire, everything gets darker and it's harder to see what's going on. And as you get closer to the fire, everything gets a little brighter. And so everything up until now you've seen in the last couple streams. And the other thing we had going on was these crystals. So let me see if I can find one.
I think you already got that one, Daryl.
I think you ate the
I
red
got that
one.
Mhm.
Let me restart the game. Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
And I'm going to restart again. So one of the things we'll cover in this stream is that we have 2 fires, and it's not quite working right with 2 fires. So we'll fix that coming up. Anyway, so I was going to show you. So we have these crystals. This is the red crystal placed across the map, and I just picked that one up. And the goal so far for Skelly is to collect these crystals. We haven't really defined a story on why yet, but once we collect the crystals, then we'll probably build something, and Skelly will have accomplished his goal in the cave. All right, so let's take a look at the code real quick. So here's the tile map that we've been working with. I'm going to turn off show walls actually to make it look a little nicer.
Wait,
So actually,
this doesn't look like the tile map we had last time.
that's right. It doesn't quite look like the tile map we had last time, and that's because Richard has been up to some awesome stuff. So between streams, Richard went through and sort of patched up a lot of the tile map to make it look a little nicer, widened the maze here a little bit, kind of fixed up this lake and added this bigger lake here and sort of smoothed out all the walls and stuff. You might have noticed on the streams we're usually pretty quick about trying to just lay things down and get the gameplay going. But it's nice too when you have some time sort of touch things up, and it really adds a lot to the game to sort of work on the visuals. Great. Anyway, so now the tile map's done, and we shouldn't need to do much with that during this stream. So let's think about the first thing we want to do. What do you guys think? What's the first thing we should work on?
The fire.
Yeah,
fire.
make it so we don't have to keep on resetting every time we want to do something.
Yes, let's get the fire working. So let's review what the problem we have right now is. So the behavior we want is that when you're close to a fire, you will get heat and you will get light. And as you move away from the fire, your light diminishes and your heat diminishes. But when you get closer, you get those back. So we have 2 fires on the map. So I'm going to go to the second fire right now. And here's the second fire. And notice that just about nothing happens when we come to this second fire. The heat is still going down and we get no light. And so what's happening is, so on the tile map, we have these 2 different fire tiles, and they're the same fire tile here. And let's see, so let me look through. So we have this, this bit of code here that creates a fire sprite of kind fire, and it places the fire sprite on top of a random fire tile. And when there's only one fire, this works great because it'll always place the sprite on top of exactly the one fire. But now that there's 2 fires, it chooses randomly between which fire to go to. So like right now in this iteration of arcade game, you can see that the fire we start at is providing no benefits. And if we went to this other fire, we would get light and warmth. So that's kind of the problem, is that this fire sprite is going to a random fire. And furthermore, so the fire sprite, let me go find all the places we use that fire sprite. So here, so we're calculating this distance from fire variable, and this is calculating based on the distance, which is this long formula we came up with in the first stream, between Skelly, the skeleton, and the fire sprite. And then based on this fire distance, we
came up with that formula.
What's that?
I think Euclid came up with that formula.
Yes. Well, yes. So here's the distance from the fire sprite, which we use to calculate things like warmth and light. Okay, so to fix this, I can think of a couple things. And one is, instead of placing a fire sprite on a random fire tile, we place one fire sprite on each fire tile, so that you'll have multiple fire sprites around. And then in this distance calculation, we calculate the distance from each fire sprite, and then we take the maximum of those, or the minimum of those distances, when calculating the benefits like warmth and light. How does that sound to you guys?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So whenever we want to do multiple of a thing, chances are we'll want to use a loop. So I'm going to use a loop. And what I'm going to do is say, actually first in the scene category, if I scroll down, there's an array of all locations block, and I can say all fire locations. Great, so now I have an array of all fire locations, and arrays again are this very helpful thing in Arcade and all MakeCode projects that let you store multiple values in sort of a list or a package, or there's many ways to think about it. Okay, so I've got an array of all the fire locations, and I'm going to go to loops. I'm going to say for element value of list. So this is the main loop that helps us enumerate over lists. And I'm going to drop this into here, and now it's saying for value of all fire locations. And what value represents, value is a local variable again. We've seen these a couple times. It represents a location of a fire. So I'm going to move these couple blocks that have to do with creating a fire sprite down into the loop. And so for each value, I'm going to create a fire sprite and place the fire sprite not on top of a random block. Instead, I'm going to go to scene and say, place my sprite on top of location. So I'm going to say place the fire sprite. Where's our fire sprite? One thing with arcade games is you start to get a lot of variables. Okay, on top of some location. And so this value here is a location because we're enumerating over locations. So I'm going to drop this in here. And now we should get a fire sprite on top of multiple locations. And now what's probably going to happen is every time it's going to pick the far away fireplace, because we're still calculating the distance only from the last fire sprite, which is the one that is stored in the fire sprite variable. Okay, so to fix this, I'm going to take out this distance formula, and I'm going to say distance from fire starts at 0, and then I'm going to loop over a list again, and I'm going to drop that here. And the list I'm going to enumerate over is all sprites of kind fire.
It's in the arrays.
Oh, it's in the arrays category. I always forget where this is. So we have this helpful block here that is the array of sprites of kind. And this is really useful in our case because, oops, wrong location. Array of sprites of kind fire. This lets us enumerate over all the fire sprites, which is just 2. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's see. So distance from fire, I think I'm going to make, because this is such a long formula, I am going to make another variable here that is going to be current fire sprite distance from fire. It was very long, but it's not too bad to be very descriptive with your variables. You'll see this a lot in professional programming. Okay, so now I can check the distance. Oh, so I need to use this value block here everywhere I was using the fire sprite. Let's see if I can even do, yeah, I can, okay. There we go. So now this is saying value here represents one of our fire sprites. So now we're computing the distance from the Skelly to that fire sprite and storing it in this variable. And then I'm going to assign to this variable the maximum of either the current value of that variable or the minimum value of that variable or our new distance. Sorry, we're going to say something, Richard?
No, I was just saying minimum instead of maximum.
Yeah, right. So the minimum of either current fire sprite distance from fire or distance from fire. And actually, I'm going to rename this for clarity, and I'm going to say min distance from, well, no, that's okay. I don't need to rename this because it's Skelly's distance from fire. Anyway, so let's see if this works now. I'm going to run this full screen. Okay, so this fire is working. And now let's go away and...
So we're starting it off at 0 always, right? Which distance is always going to be 0.
That's true. Good catch, Joey. So instead of 0, I'm just going to put a big number in here. There's probably a more elegant way to do this, but you know what? That works for now. So let's go in here. So now as I go away from this fire, we're now farther away. But when I go to this fire, I get warmth and heat again. Sorry, heat and light again. And yeah, look at that. So now I can transition between fires. And just to kind of make the point, I'm just going to place another fire like over here. And what should happen is that I can just magically show up to that fire and it should just work. There we go. Cool. So now we can have arbitrary numbers of fires. In our case, we only want 2. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay. So let me just make a little to-do list in here of, so let's see, we did multiple fires. And the other thing is crystal pickup. We still need to be able to pick up all of our crystals and then build something at the end. Okay, so crystal pickup, let's take a look at where we're at. So here's our tile map, and we've got one crystal over there that we can just pick up by walking to, and we can pick up the green crystal by going through the maze. We saw that in the last stream. Now this is the crystal we can't reach yet. So the blue crystal is stuck on this little island, and the reason why we have this fire here is so that when you get close, you can sort of see that crystal and also give you more time to sort of navigate the island. And the mechanic we decided was that if you overlap the bone, then this bridge forms here in the water. So these water with pink dots you can't walk on yet, but once you hit the bone, they turn into a bridge material, probably just dirt. We'll see. Okay, so let's add that. That shouldn't be too bad. I think we're most of the way there based on what Richard did for us. So when we overlap the bone, we want to create the bridge. So the bone is a tile. So I'm going to go to the scene category, and I'm going to say when sprite of kind player, Skelly is of kind player, overlaps with a bone tile, then we want to do something. So what we want to do is we want to turn all of those pink blocks, and let me zoom in on the tile map here instead of walking over there. How do I pan around? Whoops.
Hold space.
Hold space. Ah, nice. Awesome. Thanks, Richard. So I want to turn. Did Shannon code that feature?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. Great. So I want to turn these tiles into land. Okay. So I'm going to do that by, when I overlap these, I'm going to loop over all of those types of tiles. So again, I'm going to go to seed category, just like we did with the fire, say array of all locations. I'm going to say all of these pink locations, those are now stored in the value. And then I'm going to go to the scene and I'm going to say set tile. So instead of being this blue, we're going to change them to, I guess, just dirt or or later we can make a different bridge tile if we want. Great. So let's try that out. I know something is going to happen, but let's experience it. So when I come over here and I see, oh, I want to cross this water. I can't. Now, if I go on top of the bone, you see that there's a bridge. Now, the problem is I actually can't walk across this bridge right now. And the reason why is walls. So when you change a tile, you're actually just changing the image of the tile. You're not changing any of the properties of the tile, including whether or not it's a wall. So to do that, we need to use a separate block. So I'm going to go to the scene category again and drag out the set wall on off block. And then I'm going to say this location, turn the wall off. Okay, so now when we hit these blue pink tiles, for each one of them, change the visual and turn off the wall. And let's see if we can go get our crystal. I'm already short on food because of all my talking. Let's see. So I can't cross, hit the bone, and now I can cross. And now I got the blue crystal. And okay, I'm gonna eat up some food. Maybe I'll stop for some warmth. And I'm gonna see if I can get all the crystals now. So standing by the fire, need some warmth. Grab some mushrooms, come back. Mushrooms, come back. Okay, I think I'm about good. Oh, gotta eat those as I'm going. Okay, so here's the maze. Sit down this way.
No.
Go up.
Go up. Rom, this is
I know,
wrong.
I'm exploring the maze. Okay, it's not this way.
But we know the answer.
I'm discovering. Not this way. Maybe it's that way. Yeah, it must be this way. Nope, not up here.
Getting it out of this maze, I don't think.
Such concern.
Yes.
That's concerned. There it is. All right. Now I got all the crystals. Wait, don't I just win?
You didn't get the red
Just
crystal.
get the one crystal.
Oh no, it's too
You
cold.
didn't get the gimme.
Okay, I forgot the obvious crystal, but you guys get the idea. You can trust us that you'll win the game if you get all the crystals because we saw that in the last stream.
So I've got one idea real quick.
Yeah.
So right now the bridge building is a little subtle. What if we made a message appear, something like you hear a rumbling or something just to indicate that something changed?
Rumbling from the lake. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, that sounds great. Bridge to settle. Let me do that. Okay, great. So we have this bit of code here for creating our bridge. I think we could do, what do you guys say, like a message that says, you hear rumbling from the lake or splashing from the lake or something like that.
Yeah.
You hear the sound of water moving.
Awesome. Let's do that. Let's see, splash. You hear the sound of water moving nearby.
You could also unset the bone.
Yes, that's a good idea. Let's unset the bone because we're sort of consuming the bone in order to do our, I don't know, it's a magic bone for some reason. We'll need to come up with some reasons why. All right, so at this location, so this event is pretty handy because it says when a player overlaps a bone, it also gives us this local variable here that represents the location of the bone. So I'm going to say instead of bone, just go back to being dirt. All right, let's see how this plays out. Walk up here. Here's the lake. I can't get across. Here's a bone. What does that do? You hear the sound of water. So actually, I'm curious. Is my health going down right now? It's not, right? I've just paused.
Yep,
It's all relative to the scene.
That's cool. Okay, so we get that for free without doing anything. Okay, so I heard the rumbling, and then if I come check out the water, I can see I've got this path now. Very cool. All right. Great. Okay, so where were we? Now we've got the crystals. I think we can build something, huh?
Right. So we've got 3 different crystals, and these are supposed to be some thing that we're combining to build something else.
Yes.
So I guess it would be a good idea for us to decide what the crystals are. So we have 3 colors: green, red, and blue. So I guess we could either maybe choose some crystals that actually have those colors, or we could just say that they represent something if anyone has any ideas. So what would Skelly be building in this scenario? So we're already doing with this surreal thing where the skeleton is trying to survive,
right?
Despite the fact that it doesn't have, a form or anything. So what is Skelly's end game, and why is Skelly getting these crystals together?
So maybe Skelly wants to be alive again as, a regular being.
To make him Gollum.
That sounds like dark magic. And I've been told not to mess with that stuff.
Yeah. So actually, Richard before the stream had an idea around the elements. So I think this is a good idea. So green could represent earth, red could represent fire, and blue could represent water.
Yeah, and then when you pick them up, we can add a message, like when you pick up the fire one, it can say like it's warm to the touch. Or you pick up the water one, it could be like
it's wet. Could be because of
water is wet, yeah.
It's weirdly damp.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should use the messages also to like whatever Skelly's building. Each message can be like a hint or something.
Yeah.
Like
it could also be at the very start of the game. Maybe Skelly says something like, man, I wish I had a body.
Yeah, I definitely think we need some kind of intro to let people know that they should be looking for crystals as well.
Yeah.
Well, so what we can do is just make it so that the first crystal, which is right by the campfire, is really obvious.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So if we make it like glow, or we start a particle effect or something, it might make it really clear that the player has to pick that thing up.
Yeah, I like that idea. Let's move the red crystal closer. It's not very hard to find anyway, unless you're me and you forget about it. All right, let's add this right there. Probably just in range of the fire.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so now okay, so maybe let's add a starting message that's something like, Skelly wants a body.
I don't know if it needs to be that explicit. We can leave a little bit of interpretation up.
All right, how do we do this subtly?
Well, Skelly lost something that they're trying to get back, right? So maybe that's one way to phrase it.
Skelly feels like something is missing. What do you think?
I don't know. What do you guys think, Joey and Shannon?
That sounds fine.
Yeah.
I think if you put
I'm gonna say
it might look a lot better. If you put a 1 millisecond pause before, it might be able to render the frame, show the frame. So it shows.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
I actually really like that it starts dark and.
Oh, it doesn't. That's weird. That's a okay. Anyway.
Might be interaction with the light thing.
The light starts.
This is like, you open your eye and like
okay.
or something,
All right, Skelly feels like something is missing. Should it be first person?
I like that it's named Skelly.
And then
so I mean, I think we can trust the users to oh yeah, sure.
Skelly finds himself alone and in a cave. Skelly feels like something is missing. Maybe Skelly should take a look around. Skelly needs to remember to stay warm and fed.
I would change that last one to just, but remember to stay warm and fed.
Yes. ...
But remember to stay warm and fed.
Ooh, yeah. Space.
All right. Nice.
It's like Scully's Gollum.
Yes, Skelly's talking about himself. Great. Okay, so I'm actually going to pop this out just for a moment, just for playtesting, so we don't have to click through that every time we're starting and stopping. But I'll put it back in before we finish the stream. Okay, so now when picking up crystals, nothing really happens. So I think I'm going to go to that and do something different. So let me find the crystal overlap stuff. Okay, here we go. When we're overlapping these different crystals, so the first one is the red crystal. I'm going to say, I like the idea of, actually I'm going to use the sprite say maybe, and have Skelly say that, that felt warm or something like that. So Skelly. Let's
You
see.
could just say feels warm to the touch. That might prevent it from scrolling.
I think it'll still scroll.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot of letters.
Feels warm?
You did
Yeah,
warm.
feels warm,
Oh,
dot,
feels
dot,
warm
dot.
is good, yeah.
Am I overusing ...
No, you can never overuse ...
I feel like skeletons would be very long and drawn out.
Atmosphere.
I mean, I think if you click plus, there's a timer.
Oh yeah, otherwise it'll say forever.
Oh, okay, yeah. A second. Let's see how that plays. Feels warm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay. So now let's see when we're when we pick up the green one. So this is Earth. Feels dirty. That's probably not right. Feels
So
earthy.
It be an aspect of it. Feels
Yeah.
heavy and solid or something like that.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
like something growing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
Covered
like
in moss.
the growing. Like, yeah, covered in moss is cool.
Yeah.
Wait, it is without the apostrophe, right?
No. You
No,
want
it-
You can just do covered in moss though.
Because you're combining it and is.
Oh yeah. Covered in moss. That probably is gonna. Where's the green one? Is that in the maze?
Yeah.
Yes. So I put the. It used to be on the island, but I switched them around.
To cheat and put them next to me for now. So when playtesting, all's fair. Now let's put these here, and then where's our blue one?
Go back.
Back page.
Little pages. Okay. Now we've got our crystals nearby, just so I can test this mechanic. Okay, so now when I go to blue one, nothing happens. Red one feels warm. I won the game. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let's go get the green one. It's covered in moss. That scrolled really fast. All right, let's say something more brief. Maybe like mossy.
Yeah, just it's mossy.
It's mossy. It's mossy. Okay. And for blue one, this should be easy because that's the water one. It's wet. It's dripping.
It's moist.
Could be feels cold.
Damp.
Feels cold. Damp. All right. So now we've got these. So maybe once you get all three, you get a message that's strongly hinting that you need to do something with them. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right. So what to do with them? I think we should bring them to a place. What do you guys think of that? Maybe, well, so let's flesh out the rest of the story, pun intended. So maybe you get the three crystals, and they're the elements of earth, water, and fire, and then you bring them back to a place, and you create a body out of them. and then Skelly turns into a real person. How's
Like
that sound?
Yeah.
All
Sounds
right.
good. So what are we bringing them to? I think the thing I suggested before was we could have like a cauldron that you dump them into. There's also a statue in the sprite gallery, and they could just be like a statue, and you like drop it in water. Statue.
Yeah, let's poke around. So
I don't think it'll show up in the tile map because it's pretty tall.
Oh, it's a sprite, right?
So you have like a marker and then put it on top.
Yeah, I could do that. All right, so I'm going to make a new tile. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and my duplicate tile shows up here. I'm going to say edit, and I'm just going to do a very subtle marker, a little bit less subtle, that is where I'm going to place this statue. So maybe it's not too far away.
Make it a little less subtle by and just like the statue.
Yeah,
will be
because we're going to be placing something. Yeah, that's true. It's only for us in remembering, you know, where this is in the tile map. Good enough. Okay, so maybe like this is a nice area of the map that's not used.
Yeah.
We could place it there. All right. So let's do that.
Can give you hints if you haven't found the crystals yet.
Oh, I like this idea. Okay, great. So first I'm going to place a statue. So like we did with the fire sprite, when there was only one fire, we can do that now because there's only one statue. So I'm going to make a new variable called statue. And it's going to be of kind. I'm going to just do new kind because I don't really know what I'm going to need to do with it yet. New kind statue, and it's definitely not a player or food or anything like that. So let's go to the gallery and let's go find us a nice statue. Ooh, so the other idea I was thinking was this could be the body that we eventually end up in. So I could take this sprite and modify it to just be gray statue. And then, you know, at the end, when you bring all the things, then this becomes your body.
I'd be into that, but we have a really cool statue sprite.
All right, we'll use the statue sprite because we haven't used that enough in streams, if at all. Is it this one?
The pink one.
The pink one. All right. Here's our pink statue.
The reason I say the pink one is because it'll show up much better with the lighting effects.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Here is our statue. And I'm going to place the statue on top of that tile we need. And I can use this place on top of random because there's only one of them. So statue on top of random placeholder block. And you notice this is a pretty common pattern that we use, you know, just little markers as placeholders. Okay, let's go see if we can find our statue. There's our statue.
Nice.
Awesome. So right now I can bump into it. That's probably, oh, I think actually I can change that really easily just in the tile map by making that one block a wall. That won't interact weirdly with the statue, will it?
Not until the statue moves off.
Height might, but
yeah.
Let's see what happens. Okay,
Yeah.
so now Skelly can't go through it. And so it looks good from this side. It's kind of weird that we can overlap it on this end. So I think I'm going to set the z-index of the sprite back. So again, z-index is the thing that lets us control the layering of how things appear to the player. So let's set the z depth to -1.
I think -1 is where the tile map is written. That should work still.
Let's see.
Just technically.
Yeah, so now we're on top, and technically it's a little weird if you go back here, but that's fine. Players probably won't do that much.
You can make the tile above it also a wall.
Oh yeah, easy. All right. Let's do that. So wall. Turn that into a wall. Okay, great. So now we've got our statue. And let's see. So I'll first do the end condition, and then we can add story text. So when I've got all of the sprites or all the crystals, I don't want to call endgame yet. Actually, instead of I'm thinking about renaming this function and calling this a, like you know, got crystal.
check crystals.
Yeah, check crystals, exactly. Crystals, because we're probably going to want some dialogue or something to happen when we get all the crystals. And yeah, any idea what that dialogue should be?
Something like, where should I take these, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe you hear a voice, and then in quotes,
Yeah.
bring crystals to me.
I like it. Okay. So let's do this with, instead of Splash, I actually kind of like the one that shows up at the bottom. Where's that one again? Under info.
Yeah.
Bottom of the game category.
Splash. So Splash takes in a second argument that's a subtitle.
Okay. So what is the difference between that and the show at bottom of the screen?
The show at the bottom of the screen is meant for more like instruction text. I'm not saying that we shouldn't use it. We could still totally use
Both
it.
of them are under game.
Yeah.
Both of them are-
Visually, Splash is one row of text that is across, and show at bottom will wrap for.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear? I see. Do we want to do these as one or two different splashes?
Just we can see what it looks like at least.
What if it just said, "Bring them to me," and the people will know what it means.
Bring them to me, and I will make you whole, or something like that.
Yeah, we can leave some.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like the, and I will make you whole, because we have had no indication of like body or anything. So I think now is the time to start dropping hints.
Yeah.
All right.
Off the first me though, probably. Bring me them to me.
Yes. Bring them to me, and I will make you whole. All right. And I feel like what we could say is, should we say we hear the voice from like the northern lake or something like that?
Sure.
Yeah. From the north. Would north be capitalized here?
Yes.
I think
You're
so.
referring to a specific north, not north of you, so it should be, I think.
Yeah, the north. Geez. My old English teacher isn't watching. All right. So now once we get all the crystals, then we'll get this little bit of dialogue. And so the last thing is, once you come to the statue with all the crystals, then the mushroom's growing there. Then we want to get the body. So I want to check collision with the statue, but actually I think that's going to be a problem because we made the tiles walls. Will that still work? Let's try it out. Let's see. So when player overlaps statue, I'm just going to say win when actually what we want is that condition. But let me just see if the overlapping is working.
I'm pretty sure it will work because the
oh, nice.
The statue sprite is like 32 pixels tall or something.
So a little bigger.
Sticking a little bit below the tile.
But if you try it from the side, it might not. I don't know if that matters. This might be good enough.
I think if walking up to the front is a reasonable thing to do.
So I'm going to make a variable that says has all crystals, and I'm going to set that to this condition here, so that we can reuse it. So has all crystals is set inside of check crystals, and then we can say if we have all the crystals, then we do that logic. And also, I just did Control-C, Control-V. So if we have all the crystals and you hit the sprite, you can win the game. But actually, what I think I want to have happen is we change the image of Skelly. So let's set the Skelly image to something with a body. So maybe this one. All right.
Yeah.
So now we do that. And then I think I want to like wait a little bit and then you win the game. Or maybe something like,
Could say something.
Yeah. Let's do say something. So sprites, Skelly.
That is not
is
a
going-
block.
Yeah.
Not a what? Sorry, say that again.
It'll end the game immediately without displaying the. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll have to think of a mechanism in a sec. Say, I'm a human again. And then, because I think it'll be fun, let's set the velocity, or I'm going to do the move with buttons to like really fast. So Skelly can just run around. Let's do like 200, 200. And I'm going to set the warmth and hunger to 100. Just make you very, very happy. Warmth and hunger to 100, 100. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the lifetime of Skelly, as we've been doing a lot when we need a timer. So set Skelly lifetime to, so this is in milliseconds, I think. So I'm going to set lifespan to 500. And then when Skelly's destroyed, and I think this is the only way that Skelly can get destroyed, we win the game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean the pause would work there too, but either way is fine.
Oh, a pause would work. Sorry, I missed that. So let me just do that then, because that is so much simpler. So you can't use pause in all the situations, but you can use it in this situation because overlaps does not halt the game. We explained this a little bit in the previous stream.
With sprites.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me do this real quick. I'm pulling it out of the if statement just so we can test this out. So if I go up to the statue, I'm a human again, and Skelly races around in great happiness, and you win. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I think it looks
All
great.
right. Okay, let me put this all back in the if statement, and then I think our game is kind of ready. Let's play the whole thing and see how it goes. Let me see if I...
Richard, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, put the intro text back in. And then also, could you save it real quick? Because you're in an incognito window and it's really stressing me out.
Jeez.
Yes, save. Thinking. Okay, got it.
So this is a thing we've seen a few times on the forum. If you're in an incognito window, your project will not be saved. So if you're doing that,
Right.
make sure that you keep and you save frequently and you don't
If I were
refresh
to
the
close
page,
this window,
or else.
yeah. Yes.
That's fate, Daryl.
Good point. I shouldn't use incognito windows because occasionally I just refresh the page, just out of habit.
Well,
So,
refresh would be fine.
For
I
Chrome,
don't
it'll
think
still
it's
refresh.
fine.
But,
Not Safari.
yeah.
I won't test it, so
Yes.
we'll see. Okay, great. So let's play this. All right. Skelly finds himself alone in a cave. Skelly feels like something is missing. Maybe Skelly should take a look around, but remember to stay warm and fed. All right, got some warmth. Feels warm. All right, that's good. Let's get some food. Let's work our way. There's this mysterious statue here. Don't know what to do with that yet. Let's go over here. And this time I will more successfully navigate, maybe? Question mark?
Then
All
up,
right.
right,
Nope.
down, right, up.
Up.
It's mossy. All right. And we should probably put some text somewhere that says like you combine the elements of earth, fire, and water to create yourself a body or something like that.
I mean, I think it's fine to leave some of
Sort
it
of
up to
implied.
interpretation of the player.
Please go
That's
sit
true.
by a fire.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me get some heat. I forgot about the survival aspect. Oh man, heat goes up exactly at the rate the food goes down. This is stressful.
Mhm.
I need to go get some food. I think there's gonna be more food over here, here, here.
I'm pretty sure you're good now.
As long as you sit by the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna transition to that other fire. Oh man, this is actually kind of tough. Patience is an important part of survival. Conserving energy, rather.
Nothing's more fun in a game than waiting.
Maybe your food shouldn't go down if you're sitting still, or maybe it should go down slower. Anyway, so now I go over here. Ooh, you hear the sound of water moving. What could that be? And then go across the bridge. You hear a voice. Bring them to me, and I will make you whole. The voice is coming from the north. All right, feels damp. So I'm pretty far north right now, but there's probably more north locations. Let's go see. There's a statue. I'm human again. I feel like we should go to full brightness too. I don't know quite now how to do that.
You could turn off the lantern effect.
So you're not really becoming a human, you're becoming a superhero. Because you can survive the and all that.
I mean, it's true.
Superheroes are human too, Joey.
Okay. I mean, I guess this is like several TV shows plots right now.
I mean, not all of them are.
Yeah. Some of them are.
Devil Dinosaur is a dinosaur.
So I think
there is a Martian.
I think we finished the main mechanics we wanted to get done. Is there any finishing touches we should add?
Well, I like the fire idea, and I think that should be pretty easy to do.
Make the
turning off the...
Yeah, so I think what you'll need to do is if you go to that loop that you're right by right now, the one that's calculating the warmth %.
Yeah.
Go to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So
I should have a variable.
You never actually stop it. So yeah, you can just call stop the lantern effect, and that should turn it off. So inside of the overlap. Sorry, I thought that were.
Yeah, that's right. I can just say stop lantern effect. Let's do that here. All right. Again, for testing purposes, I'm just going to move this out of that if statement. It's handy to know how to cheat in your own code so that you can test things quickly. I'm a human again. Wow, the darkness has receded. I'm still hungry, but I think we should be able to run around for a little bit longer. Oh, can I enter my own numbers here?
Yes.
You can. I think if you make it too high, though, it'll seem like a bug.
Yeah, that's true. 7 seconds is... Whoa,
I got some weird state there, yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think 5 seconds was fine. Okay.
We could also start a countdown if you want. I guess that would just, either way.
Oh, right. With the countdown, will you win the game?
I feel like a countdown is an alarming thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They would think that was something they would have to respond.
Oh, yeah. That's true. What should I do?
This is good, okay.
I think this is good. Okay, so the most important part of the stream, what do we name the game?
16. Right. There's one other thing I think real quick, which is I think that you need to change this. If you potentially stay overlapping with the statue, this will just go on forever.
Oh. That's true.
The easy way to do it would be change the player's kind to real, human or something.
Yeah, but maybe that's not bad.
Should work. Because
this
is like internal knowledge, but it will work as it was. It's not going to do what you're thinking because it only allows you to overlap with the thing once at a time.
I see what you're saying. Yes, you're right. Joey's right.
Because that's
like the weird internal knowledge that you need to know to get that to work. So I think it's better to set it to ghost because then it's understandable code and not just magic.
Right. Oh yeah. So you can just set the ghost flag to true.
Oh man, it's very ironic though, isn't it? That once we become real,
no,
the statue to ghost.
Oh, Yeah, we can set the other sprite to ghost on. Okay, so what ghost is, it's a property on sprites, and there's many properties you can have that are pretty handy. And the ghost property just says that this sprite will no longer be able to be collided with. It doesn't participate in collision or overlapping. Yeah, so it's pretty handy for many situations, including this one. Okay, so I think we've got a game. Pretty happy with that. Let's come up with a name. All right, so.
All right, I got a pitch.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding.
Okay, yep, we're good.
Yes, survive : bodybuilding, or.
I think just bodybuilding works.
I feel like it's really funny, but we should also, people don't we want people to know something about it, like when they read the name?
Personally, I value puns over explanation, but I think that's fine. You're in charge here, so you can have final editorial oversight.
Let's see. So I think bodybuilding is great. Let's do that. Okay. And when someone reads the name and they play the game, they will be very confused for a little while. But that's okay, because it's a surreal game. That was part of our prompt. I think we're maybe using surreal to just mean anything that doesn't make sense, which I think is probably not the definition most folks would use, but so be it. All right. Well, I think that's it for now. Should we sign off?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I am Daryl from MakeCode at Darzu on the forum.
I'm Shannon. I'm at Shakao on the forum.
I'm Joey at JWonderl on the forum.
And I'm Richard.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will see you tomorrow.